and consumer sciences. The best way to make a difference is to become a teacher. The Alexander High School Teaching Profession Pathway allows students to complete 3 courses in an internship to earn articulated college credit in high school. These types of opportunities create real-world opportunities to students to be prepared for post-secondary options do not happen in isolation. A special thank you for our Douglas County School System Superintendent, Mr. North, Douglas County Board of Education. We have a representative from District 5, Miss Rita Fashina Thomas with us today. Also, a special thank you for our elementary and middle school principals for supporting these students in these types of experiential experiences to build a foundation of highly skilled educators to hopefully return to the Douglas County community and to give back to our community. So at this time, I'd like to take an opportunity and just introduce our signees. And it looks like Megan Grant, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Hey, Megan, congratulations for the signing day with Jacksonville State University. My daughter was actually the homecoming queen this year at Jacksonville State University. So it's a wonderful place. Her name is Abby Beatty. A couple of questions for you, if you don't mind, just kind of, if you could, Alexander High School has 18 to 19 career pathways, lots of elective opportunities in physical education and fine arts. What made you choose the teaching as a profession pathway, and what made you choose to finish the pathway?
Well, I chose the pathway because I've always had a passion to work with students, and I just love teaching them new things. So when I heard about the PAT program, I just knew I couldn't give up opportunities or experience. And I chose to complete it because in the level, we were working with our own classmates and learning about the lesson plans, and I wanted to get the hands-on experience in the second level with the students themselves.
Wonderful. What an amazing opportunity. We are so proud of you. Is anything else you would like to tell the audience before we move on to celebrate the next future teacher, future educator?
What'd you say?
Is there anything else you have for the support group before we move on to the next future educator?
I just want to give congratulations to all the students that are going the same path as me, and I just know that they're going to do great in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Megan. Hey, Maggie. Maggie, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Congratulations, Maggie. Not only is Maggie signing with Reinhardt University, but she's also will be playing golf for the university. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit of why you chose the teaching as a profession pathway at Alexander, why you chose to finish the pathway.
So both of my aunts are teachers, and I think I just decided to follow in their footsteps, and I'm really passionate about working with kids, and I really wanted to finish the pathway because working in the classroom is like a great opportunity to get that experience in, and it was a great way to end everything.
Awesome. We are so proud of you, and thank you for representing Alexander High School in the Douglas County school system.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kendall Grizzard, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Congratulations for signing with the University of West Georgia. Kendall, tell us a little bit about what led you to teaching, what led you to choose the teaching as a profession pathway at Alexander, and what led you to finish the pathway at Alexander.
I developed a passion for teaching through working one-on-one with students in my mother's classroom. And then I found out about the teaching pathway at Alexander. And then I decided to join it so that I could learn more about the teaching career. And then I just really want to finish the pathway because it really has helped me develop my skills as an aspiring teacher. And it just helps me develop more of a passion for teaching.
Love it.
That is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Kendall, and we are so proud of you. You got anything to share with the group before we move on?
I just want to give a special thank you to Miss Morris. She has been amazing, and just congratulations to everyone else.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Miss Carrie Campbell, also signed University of West Georgia. Hey, Carrie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. Carrie, we're so proud of you. Tell us a little bit about why you chose the teaching as a profession pathway and why you chose to finish the pathway at Alexander High School.
I chose the TAP pathway because it's always been a dream of mine to be a teacher, and I knew this pathway would give me the kind of experience most people get in college, and so I could just get that extra step in to do what I want to do when I get older.
Awesome, that's perfect. You got anything else to share with the group before we move on to introductions?
I just want to say thank you to all my teachers that I have had over the years who have inspired me to become a teacher.
That's perfect and amazing. We're so proud of you. Kara, Megan, and Kendall, and Maggie, oftentimes you'll find out the first time you teach a lesson, you're much better the second time. So if there's something you wanted to say before I move on to recognition of our special guest, feel free to unmute your mic and do a special thank you at this time or anything. If you guys would like to do that, this could be your opportunity before I move on to the recognition of special guest.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, Kara, Megan, Kendall, or Maggie, oftentimes the first time we have the opportunity to speak or teach a lesson, we were much better the second time. Do you guys have anything else before I introduce the special guest?
Hi, Megan, it's Mrs. Phillips.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to move on to the program where I'm going to introduce all the special guests. This is quite a big group of everyone. If you'd like to say hello or just give the future educators a sign up, or what I call the COVID-19 heart appropriate handshake, we have here with us Alexander High School administration, the principal, Dr. Chris Small, Mr. Rob Offord, Mrs. Miranda Cones, and Mr. John Chandler. We also have joined us from our district office, Mr. Trent North, our superintendent, our director of our CTAE for the district office, and Miss Mandy Johnson. From our school board, we have Miss Rita Fashionette Thomas representing Alexander High School in District 5. Other members of Douglas County School System District Office, we have 2017 Teacher of the Year, our science coordinator and K-12 STEM coordinator, Mr. Casey Bethel, the current Georgia Teacher of the Year, Miss Tracy Penley, our Executive Director of Communications, Douglas County School System Board Office, Ms. Nell Boggs, our Assistant Superintendent of Student Achievement, Ms. Melanie Manley. Representing our elementary administration, thank you for hosting these interns, Winston Elementary Principal Chelsea Goodman, Bill Arp Elementary Principal Alicia Stanley, our mentor teachers from Winston Elementary, Mrs. Culberson, Ms. Moore, Ms. Day, from Bill Arp Elementary, Miss Mason and Miss Horn. We have college representatives from University of West Georgia, Miss Elaine Heath Ward, from Jacksonville State University, and Mr. Brett Underwood. We also enjoying us, the students picked impactful teachers that they had at Alexander High School, Miss Brooke Morris, Mrs. Courtney Walker, Mr. Richard Parham, Mrs. Laura McAdams, Mrs. Carrie Cochran, Mr. Sean Moisner, Mrs. Miranda Combs, Mrs. Samantha Ship, Mrs. Lynn Morris, Mrs. Ricky Baxter, Whitney Britton, Miss Carrie Horn, Miss Gail Phillips, Miss Jamie Crawford, and Miss Connie Villanacci. We also have friends and family of Kara's family. We have her parents, Michael and Christy Campbell, Megan's family, Jamie Poole and Gary Grant, Kendall's family, Carrie and Wendy Grizzard, and Maggie's family, Kevin and Beth Mullins, and Aunt Lynn Morris. And also, Ron Daniel from the Douglas County Sentinel will be joining us as well. Brooke, did I get everybody?
Yes.
Perfect. At this time, we'd like to move on to the program to words of encouragement. Mr. Casey Bethel Douglas County School System Science and STEM Coordinator 2017 Teacher of the Year, and Miss Tracy Penley, the current Teacher of the Year from the state of Georgia. I'd like to turn the program over to you two at this time.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Casey speaking. First, I want to say thank you very, very much to Ms. Dr. Small, Mr. Beatty, and Ms. Morris, and all the other teachers who work in this program for making all of this possible. We appreciate your hard work. And then I really came today to speak to Megan and Maggie and Kendall and Kara and say congratulations to you. We all give you a huge round of applause. We're so very excited for this great accomplishment today. There are future educator signing days like this happening all across our state, but we are over the moon proud of the one that's happening right now on this call. I've said all around this nation when I've had the chance to speak at different colleges and different schools that we need more teachers, but we also need the best and brightest young people to think about becoming a teacher. And so I'm really, really, really very excited to share this these few minutes with my sister, Tracy Penley, the current Georgia Teacher of the Year, just to say how excited we are, how inspiring it is to see young people choosing to join us in this wonderful profession. My word of encouragement for you is to be the type of teacher that you wanted, to be the type of teacher that you needed. When you think back over your K-12 days, your time in elementary and your time in middle and your time in high school, and I heard the teachers that you invited to this call today to join you, think about the reasons that they stood out to you and the reasons that you remember them. All those wonderful things that they did that were above and beyond the call of just being a teacher. It's about so much more than just imparting information. Great teachers are inspirational. So make sure that everything you do in your classroom is set to inspire young people. What you do is more than just pouring information in their heads. It's about pouring ambition into their hearts, getting young people to think about what they want to be and believing that they can be that. So great teachers are inspirational. The other thing is that great teachers are innovative. We don't need you to come and join us in this profession and do things the way that we already do them. We're looking forward to and we're excited to you coming and bringing your fresh new ideas. Come in and be the type of teacher who thinks outside of the box, willing to do anything and try anything until you figure out exactly what works for the students in your classroom. There's no better time to be joining teaching right now while we're teaching our way through this COVID crisis. You're seeing innovation happen every day. Teachers trying new things. Well, we need you to pick up right where that leaves off in your training in college and when you have your own classrooms. And I'm speaking it today when you have your own classrooms right here in Douglas County. As you continue becoming equipped, we'll have a classroom ready for you, we promise. Great teachers are inspirational. Great teachers are innovative. And the last thing is that great teachers are invested. I had something really awesome happen this past week. There's a young man that I knew when he was in middle school who I taught in 8th grade. And he talked back then about wanting to be an engineer. He wasn't always the brightest student, but I helped to get him believing that with hard work, he could get there. And I've kept up with him, and we've had a relationship since 8th grade until now. And he just sent me a picture that I want to share. If you'll let me share my screen, this is the last thing I promise. Share my screen because I think it'll be worth it for everybody to see this. After today, as you think about what type of teacher that you want to be, this is a young man I met when he was in 8th grade, talking about he wanted to be an engineer. And although he doesn't have a college graduation that I can go to and watch him walk across the stage, he sent me this picture this week to confirm that he has completed his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering at Georgia Tech. It's fulfilling to know and see that his journey has taken him to the height that it has. And that's the great joy that teachers have. No other profession has that. I mean, if you're a real estate agent and you sell another house, have you really made a difference for the world? But as a teacher, we know that what we do every day makes a difference for the world because it makes a difference in the lives of young people. We make every other profession possible. That's what you're joining. We're excited to welcome you. Congratulations to you. And I'm turning it over to Tracy.
All right. Hey there, Douglas County. I am so thrilled to be here with you. I'm telling you, Kara, Maggie, Kendall, and Megan, you have totally made my quarantine. Because this right here, what you're doing is what it's all about. I am completely giddy at thinking of the thought of all of your K-12 teachers just cheering for you, rooting you on, and being so over the top proud of you. You know, Albert Einstein said, the supreme art of the teacher is to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. And don't get me wrong, I am down with that. I believe him, but I really want to push it a little bit more because teachers are so much more than that. I'm so thrilled that you've chosen this profession because I believe that is the most important job in the entire world. Teachers, you four are going to become story writers. You're going to become a starring character in the lives of so many students. And your impact does not stop with the students that are simply in front of you because what you teach carries out with ripple effects. You know, my own story had a lot of shining stars in it that were educators. My story itself is the story of the impact that great Georgia educators have had on teachers. My mom was the baby of 11 children, and I have a twin brother. Dad was never really in the picture. We were kind of raised by grandparents and passed around. And over our childhood, we actually had 9 different guardians. And a lot of that was due to my mother's drug addiction. She was beautiful. My mother was very, very intelligent. She was a writer. I still remember this poem that was written on cardboard that she kept on our wall, telling the story of how her parents met. She was all of these wonderful things. You couldn't be around her for more than 2 minutes without falling on the floor laughing. But she was also an addict, and that played a large role in the lives that my brother and I led as young children, and really highlighted the impact that educators can have on our lives. When students first meet me, they immediately notice a pretty recognizable scar on my face. And, you know, kids, they don't have any kind of filter. So it's, Miss Finley, what's on your face? You know, are you pregnant? All these things. The kids are fantastic. And when they point it out to me, I usually say, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Because one of the ways that we build relationships with students and get trust is to share parts of ourselves and parts of our story. This scar actually came from a car accident that I was in with my mother and my brother. She woke up one morning, it was early, it was still dark outside. She put me and my twin brother in the car. I laid across the back seat and my brother was in the front seat. And what I remember about that morning is that she had gone to score her next high. And I remember the car spinning and spinning and spinning and then finally crash. I pulled myself up above the car seat to look in the rearview mirror, and my mother was passed out at the wheel, my brother was crying, and my face was covered in blood. And after this happened and family members started showing up at the hospital, I started realizing that my life maybe wasn't like the lives of the other kids around me. And it wasn't long after that that my mom bought drugs off of an undercover cop. So you know exactly where she went. And my brother and I were hustled off to live with another uncle and aunt. When mom came home from prison a year and a half later, I was so relieved. We were finally going to be a family again. My brother and I were 10 years old, and I just knew that she was going to choose us, that she had paid her time for the drug addiction and that she was going to choose her children. On top of it, at age 40, my mom came home from prison with a chronic lung disease from all of the drug use. She came home with COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and at age 40, she was on life support. Now, I'm 36. I have 2 gorgeous little girls, and I cannot imagine not being able to run around and play with kids and just with my kids 4 years from now. But that was the reality. And when she got back, while I was taking care of the cooking and getting my brother up and getting him off to school and working through homework together and taking care of my mom at night, staying home from school with her because she was afraid to be alone frequently. While I was doing all of those things, mom was still taking care of her addiction. Things like driving us around mall and hotel parking lots, asking for money. And there was a critical afternoon that very year where something just clicked for me. You know, you're going to learn that in your lives. There are these moments where a decision just crystallizes for you. And for me on that day, what I realized as I sat outside of a Dairy Queen, my mom had dropped me off to get an ice cream cone, saying she'd be back in 10 minutes. Well, I waited and I waited and I waited. I'm in a Sunday school dress because I had just gotten off the bus and I'm also on crutches. Mom didn't come back. And I remember my ice cream just dripping and melting onto the concrete below as I sat outside the picnic table. The police show up. Little girl, where's your mom? And, you know, did I tell them the truth? Absolutely not. That's my mom. I love her. So I said, I live down the road. You know, I'll be going home soon. Okay, they left me alone. Mom came back and thought we were going home. Yes, finally. But instead, she took me right back to where she had been before and left me in the car. So as I sat there with my hands still sticky from that ice cream, I knew that if I was going to do something with my life, if I was going to get out of there, then unfortunately, this woman, my mother, wasn't going to be the one to help me. And you guys, I have to tell you, I had the most amazing teachers starting that very next school year. Now, I know that everyone thinks that their favorite teacher is the best teacher in the world. We might have to challenge one another with some long talks because this teacher that I'm about to tell you about is fire. Dr. Bobby Ford was my 5th grade teacher, and she was the type of teacher that built community through beautiful experiences. She gave me opportunities to shine and be exposed to the possibilities for my own life. She gave me a place to belong in that classroom. And always, she went above and beyond in helping to support my needs, including non-academic needs. There was one day that I won, and one night I won an art contest, and there was to be a reception downtown. So Dr. Ford came up to me, Tracy, there's this art reception you won. We get to go downtown and celebrate you. And my response to her was, what do you mean? I can't go. 1, my mom doesn't have a car right now. 2, we don't have any money. And 3, she's sick. How is this going to work? Well, Dr. Ford wasn't going to let any of that happen. She actually picked up me and my twin brother and my mom and took us to Steak and Shake and then down to the Twin Towers for this reception. I felt like a superstar. See, I had not gotten to be a part of dance or Little League or music lessons or any of these things. This was my night to shine. And right as it was about to be time for the programming to start, Mom has a panic attack. Her oxygen has run out. And I'm thinking, selfishly at the time, as an 11-year-old, great, Mom's antics are going to ruin it again. But you guys, Dr. Ford wasn't going to let that happen. Teachers are amazing. She left the room, and I still to this day do not know where she found it, but she came back with an oxygen tank. I am not kidding. She completely saved the day. I felt like a rock star. And what I learned is that with a lot of hard work, and then here's the kicker, with some help from others, you can do unbelievable things. I found this quote at the beginning of last year, and it really sums up well how important teacher impact is. It says, you can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you cannot count the number of apples in a seed. I want you to think about that. You can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you cannot count the number of apples in a seed. Your impact is huge. Those ripples go out and out and out. Because can I tell you the coolest part of this story? Dr. Bobby Ford, that 5th grade teacher who took my entire class to Washington, D.C. for a week, earning grants, who, when we studied the colonial fair, we didn't read in a textbook. We had a colonial fair. I was turning butter and making rag dolls and rag rugs. That teacher was the 1997 Georgia Teacher of the Year. So you can imagine how excited I was when 24 years later, she was there to introduce me as the 2020 Georgia Teacher of the Year. Teachers are powerful. Your impact ripples out on and on. So in addition to awakening this joy and creative expression and knowledge in students, you are doing so much more. You're giving kids a place to belong. You are exposing them to the possibilities for their lives. And so I want to leave you with just 4 things that I have learned from my experiences as a student, but also from my 11 years in the classroom and 17 years in education. When we really, if I can really just whittle it down, I want you 4 to walk away thinking about these few things. The first one, relationships matter. Okay, Tracy, that's a given. Everyone has been telling me that. I'm going to tell you again. Relationships matter. If anything that this pandemic has shown us and taught us is that the actual schooling itself, it's important, but the kids aren't going to learn from you if you're not connected to them. The most important thing that educators have been doing for the last several weeks is just connecting with kids and connecting with families. Well, Tracy, how do I make a relationship? Lead with your story, be yourself, and know that your students want to get to know you as badly as you want to know them. So lead with your story. Make those connections. Lift them up. You're always going to get more of what you want to notice. So if you're looking for the positive in those connections, you're going to get it. The second one is to focus on growth. Now, you guys are just starting out. I'm going to go ahead and ruin a giant rumor in education for you. Are you ready? The test scores don't matter. What? I hope someone didn't just spit out their coffee. The test scores don't matter. You know what matters? Student growth. That's what matters. So no matter what class that sits down in front of you, no matter what those faces are, where they've come from, you have to remember that every child has a story and your job is to grow them. So I teach my students to love your mistakes, eat it up, love it up, right? When a baby is learning how to walk and they fall down, what do? Do you put them in timeout? Do you change their color, their clip on the color chart? Of course not. Do you send them to an alternative mother? Absolutely not, right? Instead, we go, yay, get up, do it again. You guys, how beautiful would it be if in our lives as students and as educators, if every time we messed up, someone said, yay, get up, do it again. That's how we learn. So focus on growth. Don't focus on those test scores. Focus on growth and love your mistakes. My third one is you have to bring the magic. What? Yeah, you got to bring the magic, all right? When you show up into a classroom, into a school, we don't need you to be there. I need you to be there. I don't want you to show up. I need you to show up because the kids need it. And we're going to do that in a lot of different ways. An important one is remembering that they are children. They are kids, right? So when I say to bring the magic, I mean create fun experiences for them, role play, dress up, right? Every year I walk 64th graders down to the senior nursing home so that we can interview them about their experiences with Jim Crow and read to them. Bring magic. One of the things that I love to do is to dress up like Star Wars whenever I'm teaching Force in Motion, right? Do the kids totally want to learn from a teacher who looks like Darth Vader and is sword fighting the student teacher? Absolutely. Will they remember it? Absolutely. Someone tell me real quick, what's your favorite worksheet? No one? Ah, bring the magic, right? Some of you might be saying, well, I'm middle school, high school teacher. We don't need cutesy stuff. It doesn't have to be cute, but I'm telling you, they are children too. It was not long ago. I'm sitting at before we got out of school, I'm sitting at a red light and the MARTA bus pulls up and 4 students get off the bus. 3 of them are young men, and they look so nice in their suits. They had on these school uniforms, their blazer and their tie. And I thought, what young, distinguished gentlemen. And truly they were. But let me tell you, as they walked past me, Mario backpack, SpongeBob backpack, Batman backpack. They are kids. So I want you to bring the magic by getting the kids involved in real experiences, making them be there, getting involved with the community, bringing people into your classrooms. Bring the magic because that's what they're going to remember. Finally, and most importantly, and we will get back to celebrating our 4 seniors, you guys, this last one is the reason that I teach. It is my reason to wake up and to do what I do every single day. And that is fighting to ensure educational equity for our students. You see, it is still the case today in our country, in our state, and in Douglas County, that the family that you were born into, socioeconomic-wise, that is the strongest predictor of your own outcome as an adult. And teachers, educators can make that difference. We can do it. Equality is when we give students the same thing. Equity is when we give students the supports that they need to be successful. And so as you go into your careers, I want you to remember that people are going to need different things. Your students, your parents, they're going to need different things. And part of our job as standing up for social justice and ensuring a better world for our students is to teach them this and to give them all of the opportunities in the world. The truth is, I would not be here today were it not for, privilege. I had amazing teachers, incredible teachers, over-the-top great teachers. And then after my mom passed away when I was 13 years old, I should have been one of those data points, one of the kids that was just wayward and lost, looking at how many homes I was in and my brother and I were split up and all these different things. But I had an uncle able to rescue me and help reaffirm for me the importance of family, faith, and education. And so in my job as an educator, my role is to always be paying forward the kindness, the love, the learning that my teachers shared with me, but also using my privilege and my experiences to help positively impact the lives of others. And that's what it's all about. You guys, y'all have chosen the very, very best profession. And I'm so thrilled to see what you do and to hear from you. I hope that you will keep in touch and share your journey along your way. Thank you for having me.
That was so wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank Mr.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Tracy. Those words of encouragement, those relationships, focusing on growth, bringing the magic. Wow. You guys inspire us all to be better. I'm going to turn this over to Brooke. She's going to highlight the program.
Wow, it's hard to go after hearing them speak. So thank you both again very, very much. We were so thrilled that you could be a part of this for our students' special day. So thank you. I want to just say some things about the TAP program for those maybe that aren't aware fully of what it's about. I just truly feel that CTAE courses help prepare our students to become college and career ready. So I'm confident that my students who were able to finish this pathway are just a step above those students in college who were unable to have this learning experience. The practicum portion of the teaching as a profession career pathway, it just gives that field experience under, of course, the direct supervision of a certified teacher. And that's their mentor teacher. And most of them were able to join us today for this. But it compares their personal traits with those of successful teachers. The interns developed a portfolio of their skills. They planned and taught lessons. They understood and practiced confidentiality as it pertains to the teaching profession. They met the needs of students with special needs. They maintained the safety of students. They practiced professionalism every day, and they demonstrated ethical behavior. The teaching as a profession pathway gives our students that competitive edge to take with them into their college experience. So I'm very passionate about teaching this pathway because my profession is so rewarding. As you heard from Mr. Bethel and Miss Penley, it's the most rewarding job. Not only does it give us an opportunity to love kids well and build relationships with them. There we go again with telling you guys to build those relationships, but it's the most important thing. But we also get to teach beyond standards to our students, those essential life lessons. So that's why I feel like teaching is so important. We don't leave each day calling the people we teach students. We call them our kids. So you're my kids. We pour into you as if you are our own. I believe the goal of the practicum course is to give students classroom experience in an area that they're interested in so that they can gain a better understanding of this profession and to see if it really is their true passion to become a teacher. It gives our students a great opportunity to observe the workings of a school from that teacher perspective. So the practicum considers the students just as a professional. It's a learning experience. It bridges their teenage life with their adult life. It teaches them to be an effective communicator, to be punctual. They were always so punctual to their internship, and to take that initiative and offer suggestions. I feel like one of the best things of this experience has been getting the emails from your mentor teachers about how wonderful you were with their kids, your kids. It was nothing, it would make my day just to hear what they would say about you. I try to incorporate fun experiences when you guys were in the classroom with me so that I was modeling how you should teach in your practicum and, of course, one day in your future classroom. I'm honored and blessed to teach what I teach. I don't take my job lightly. I hope by the fun, creative learning environment in my classroom that it helped to model what teaching should look like in every classroom. Every day to be in this role is such a privilege and honor because, after all, we do help shape the minds and lives of children in our classroom. So with that being said, I think the next part of the agenda is to recognize you guys. And basically, we just want to tell your whys of becoming an educator. I just want to say I am so blessed to have been just a small part in your lives. I've created little keepsake boxes, and I'm going to share this really quick with you guys. Just a picture of what the top of these look like. Sorry, just bear with me for a second. So here are the top of your keepsake boxes. It just says the adventure continues. You each have your own. It may take a minute to show up, but just to say, it really does take a village. I had my mother-in-law, Tammy Morris. She is the elementary art content specialist for Douglas County. I'm creative, but I cannot do this. So in these boxes, and I will stop that real quick. They're filled with photos. Oh, sorry, there we go. They're filled with photos, letters, and I remember your experiences at Alexander and your internships. And I do want to share real quickly, and I won't take much more time, that I had each of you a mask made. These aren't just any old mask. They are, sorry. The masks are made from material from the very first classroom that I ever taught in. I wanted to give you this to help you remember, of course, this pandemic that we have been in and are in, and that even though it's been a very uncertain time and it's cut your senior activities short, you still have your whole life ahead of you. I just wanted to give you a piece of me to carry with you. I hope that even if you have some hard college courses, that this will remind you that you can make it through, because you have a whole lot of people cheering for you, including me. So just as these masks have given all of us a sense of security, let this remind you that you are going to be a children's sense of security and their safe place. I've also put a glove in here because of course, COVID-19. And you've been, going through this experience during this crazy time, but also just the glove to help you remember that just to always lend a hand. Be a team player, because that is what teaching is all about. You have to have your team. You have to. So I will get these boxes to you because they're filled with special things for you guys from special teachers, and they've written you letters. And so I will go on to say that I'm sad our year was short, but from the bottom of my heart, I am so proud of each of you. I'm proud to have carried the title that you were an Alexander TAP student. I never worried when I let you go into the elementary schools because of how all of you presented yourself in class and at school. I've seen each of you teach lessons that were better than seasoned teachers, and that is owed because of all the teachers that you've had in your lives that helped mold you into the teacher that you have already become. The saying is true that we educators learn more from our students sometimes than they learn from us. Every day, I was wowed by each of you and know that you were placed in my life as a special gift. I missed you when you weren't in class with me, and also just mainly because of those relationships we've built together. I would be absolutely thrilled if my personal kid, Breck, had any of you as his teacher. So I look forward to seeing all of you do great things. I'm going to read their reason as to why they're becoming an educator, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Baby. And so Kara said that throughout my life, I've dreamt of becoming a teacher. My genuine life goal is to become someone kids and teenagers look up to. I use a lot of my high school experience and teachers as a model for me. I want to be someone children can talk to and have a positive relationship with. Both my teaching as a profession and early childhood education teachers changed my life. Those teachers taught me many valuable life lessons and taught me the meaning of teaching. I believe teaching is a calling, and I believe God is calling me to make a change in children's lives. I find it my purpose and my goal. I look forward to managing a safe space for these kids to grow and learn. In the fall, I will be attending the University of West Georgia, and I will strive to get my master's in early childhood education. After college, I hope to teach elementary school and then go on to teach early childhood education and the teaching as a profession pathway in high school. And that was from Miss Kara. And then Maggie wrote, I'm becoming an educator because I absolutely love spending time with kids. I want to make sure that I can be the one to inspire those kids to be whatever they want to be when they grow up. Becoming an educator is a great way to show my love for Jesus as well. Megan wrote, I have been inspired by so many teachers through my years of school to become an educator. I believe teachers are one of the most influential people in a person's life and can have the biggest impact. They are with children for the most part of their lives and not only teach them what they need to know, but life skills. Teachers have shown me love and kindness, and I want to be able to provide that for other kids as well. I have always had a passion to work with kids and love spending time with them. I believe as a teacher, I can change lives and support kids to become anything they want to be. I plan to attend Jacksonville State University and major in special education and minor in elementary education. It's a gift to be able to have this passion and can't wait to see what the future has in store for me. And then I have Mr. Kendall. Teaching wasn't my first instinct as a kid. It wasn't until the 9th grade that I realized I wanted to be a teacher. Of course, with my mother being a teacher, I was always around kids. However, I had never built a strong bond with any of her students until freshman year, when I decided to stay in my mother's class until 8:15 and then walk to school and be there by 8:35. As the year progressed, I became more and more attached to the students, as they had grown attached to me as well. After about a semester of working one-on-one with one student in particular, I realized I wanted to be a teacher. For the rest of that year, up until senior year, I continued to stay behind and work with whichever students needed help and enjoyed every second of it. This year, I was able to participate in a morning internship for the Teaching as a Profession pathway, where every morning I would go to my assigned class for a little over an hour and a half and work with students and see teaching from a teacher's point of view. I absolutely loved every second of it, and my love for teaching has been solidified by 1,000 times. I want to be a teacher for several reasons. First of all, I love working with kids, and a teacher spends more time with their students than pretty much everyone except the students' family. Secondly, is to break the typical stereotype of school. All the time, kids dread school because they think it's boring and they would rather be anywhere else, doing anything else. I want to make learning fun and engaging. Another reason is because teachers see the potential in students when no one else does. Not to mention, sometimes school is an escape from home for students. I plan to always believe in my students and to be there for them when they need me. Most importantly, I want to make a difference in students' lives. So they all wrote those. I loved reading those. I am so, so proud of you all. You are all wonderful, wonderful role models, and I couldn't be more thrilled that you are going to be teachers. So I love you guys. I miss you. I'm proud of you. And I will turn it over to Mr. Beatty.
Thank you, Mrs. Morris. At this time, Kara, Megan, Kendall, and Maggie, after those words you shared with us, those are amazing, outstanding, and we're so proud of you. Mrs. Morris had emailed you a copy of the Georgia Department of Education official signing document. At this time, Kara, Megan, Kendall, and Maggie, if you could sign this simultaneously, and we will watch you sign through Google Meets, and we will celebrate this amazing moment. Thank you so much. Great job. We're proud of y'all.
Yay!
This is my COVID-19 handshake for y'all. It's my heart to you guys as future teacher leaders. Thank you for those inspirational words. Also, a special thank you for Dr. Chris Small, leading Alexander High School during this pandemic, continuing the Teaching as a Profession pathway. This is Mrs. Moore's first year with us, already making a tremendous impact, and we don't do these type of things without the leadership of Dr. Chris Small. So I'm going to let him close us down.
Hey, good afternoon. I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you to all the guests, specifically Mr. Bethel. Thank you for your words and sharing those inspirational stories with us. Ms. Penley, thank you for joining us. You can come to Douglas County right now. I need a science teacher, and we love Star Wars here, so you can be as engaging as you want. Ms. Morris, thank you so much for leading this program. You've done an outstanding job in your first year and are really preparing these Cougars for their own classroom. So thank you. And finally, to our Cougars, our kids getting ready to go out and practice what it's going to be like to be a teacher. I want you to take this with you. You know, we have a saying here at Alexander, belong, have fun, and learn. And that belong is recognizing the diversity that you have in your classrooms. And then the fun is having engaging lessons, and then the learning takes care of it, takes care of itself. So we're proud of you, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Baby. Bye, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yes, so we should have said if anybody needed to speak. I love it. How funny.